no crowd quite like you. Ceremonial weigh-in tomorrow at 11. Believe in yourself.
Every day, every day.
I'll never give up. Never.
Lose? I don't lose. I win. I'm a lawyer. That's my job. That's what I do.
The fuck I don't.
I built this shit. Me. Brick by brick. One time in your life, but I'm blessed to be able to feel it again and again and again and again and again.
This is my life, man. Do you know how hard I worked to get here?
Don't fear failure. Dream big. Work hard. Stay positive. Enjoy the journey.
You are embarrassing yourself here, lads. Kids stab, girls shoot, boys punch, grown-ups fight with their heads. That's where the real battle is. Up here, in the grave.
Train, sleep, eat, repeat. I think this is about my mental part. How I can control my emotion, you know.
Imagine being in the Formula 1 car. Must be very powerful, that.
I can't really remember winning, if I'm real honest. It's been like a minute, so I don't remember what that feeling is. I had it so many times.
In the past years, I've had racist names being called to me. But lately, if anybody had said anything to me, I would just ignore them.
I was just 8 years old. For someone to look down at a young 8-year-old and tell them they're not going to achieve anything in life, they must be in a really bad place. My dad would always tell me, tread carefully, be careful what you say.
We don't get involved with people who have problems about whether we win or what colour we are. You know, we go out on the track and we do our best.
Okay, I mean, I've been built for this. People probably won't know that I grew up like on my dad's couch, so we didn't have any money. I remember the struggle. I remember how hard it was for my mum.
Lewis Hamilton wins. Hamilton has more wins than any other driver in Formula One history.
I think the easiest thing in life is to give up on whatever you're focused on or whatever you're hopeful for. The hardest thing is to keep going, but we have to. We have to continue to hold on. And I would imagine for so many people out there, that is probably the most difficult thing.
That's for all the kids out there who dream the impossible. You can do it too, man. I believe in you guys.
Everything is possible in your life when you believe. When you believe, everything is possible. You have a two heads.
Where I go, I always training. Never, ever, never. For me, training, is like, I don't know what's have to happen. You know, it's like, if I'm very sick, you know, if I catch flu or something like this, of course, I cannot train. But even if I broke my leg, broke my arm, broke my ribs, doesn't matter. Even if I have surgery on my back, no, it's like, doesn't matter. I always train. I always in gym. Even I cannot do nothing, I just come to the gym and I watch and I try to learn something. And you know, this is how you have to be if you want to be champion.
Can't put into words, Joe. It's been a long sport for 4 years. The old doubt in me said I couldn't do it. The old said I couldn't do it. Look at me now. Never knew. Half a pound. Headshot, dead. That's it.
You know, if you don't believe in yourself, what you do, you never achieve. You achieve the nothing. I believe. My team believe me. And you all should believe in yourself. And you achieve what you want.
It's just the way it should be. You shouldn't be focused on others. You should be focused on yourself and what you're doing and feel. And it's just noise from different faces. I don't even know what it is. So I'm just focusing on me. And that's why I am where I am.
In order to do what you love, you got to get through the obstacles of the things that you don't love. And then eventually they lead you to the thing where you're like, okay, yeah, now I'm ready to pursue said thing that I want to do. Or if you're in a job, it's your job, you're supposed to be using that job for something to get to something, right?
It's pushing the water, and there's a jogger, actually. Look at this. Wow. It's a Florida man right there for you, Blake. Jog.
My hero. That's who I chase. And when I was 15 years old, I had a very important person in my life come to me and say, who's your hero? And I said, I don't know. I got to think about that. Give me a couple of weeks. I come back 2 weeks later. This person comes up and says, who's your hero? I said, I thought about it. You know who it is? I said, it's me in 10 years.
I'm going to have setbacks. I know.
But if I'm feeling bad, that doesn't mean I'm doing bad. That doesn't mean I am bad. That doesn't mean that I can't still take some action. Because nothing changes and nothing changes, man.
Just believe in yourself and be cocky and be confident and be humble, train hard. That's it. Just believe in yourself and just keep positive and again, keep believing, keep training, keep trying to learn every day. It's every bit of it because no matter what happens, no one can take these away from me. You know what I mean? No one can this away from me. So I just like to embrace every.
Take action to make it good, and it will be.
Some people need that as a furnace, like they need that competitive drive, you know. And like I feel like that happens when you don't derive joy from what you do.
You're worried about people's opinions more than you are worried about your own. Naturally, like everybody else, you always put yourself first, whether you want to acknowledge that or not. You're always worried about you first. But somewhere along the line, somewhere down the line, you've always put somebody else's opinion over yours. They can't do anything for you but talk a good talk. They can either talk you out of something they don't want to see you become successful with because that possibly will rub them wrong. But it's their fault because they should be doing something successful too. We're supposed to be so focused on what we're doing, we're not focused on someone else. But you're going to listen to somebody else's opinion, and you're going to allow their opinion to hold you back.
Yeah. I don't care how good you are in anything. You don't have discipline. You ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline.
100%.
I mean, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
Doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. That is a great quote.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can do that, you can be successful in anything.
You know what I mean? I live by the rules of that ego, and I've accomplished so much.
And a dominator ego.
Yeah.
Right? You're set to
all about
confidence.
destroying people.
Yeah.
Just anybody, you could be a lawyer, you're 200 pounds, I'm staring you down. It was a weird environment growing up that way. You know, because we as people, we try to avoid fights. You know what I mean?
Right.
From my instincts, we avoid fights for all our lives. And just to be able, this is what you do, like you're a UFC guy, you're a fighter. This is what you do for a job, a lifestyle. That's pretty bizarre.
But you were getting positive reinforcement from thinking like that for the first time in your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Never felt like that before. It was like taking a big drug like Lucy, just boom, it felt like you're the man. Then everybody's telling you you're great.
Yeah.
You know?
For the first time in your life.
Never understood that. And you know what else Custom Model used to do with me? He used to take me to a hypnotist. He was a hypnotist as well. Yeah, and I used to go into the hypnotist motions.
What kind of shit do they make you do?
You know,
like how they do it?
If you relax, you go under, you totally focus on blackness, nothingness.
Right.
You go under and just being the savage, intelligent animal. You're just working. You're going to do this. You're going to be a ferocious animal. You're going to fight, puff both hands to the body. You'll use your jab. You're going to do this in ferocious fashion. And they seeked all that in me as I was younger.
And you were like 12, 13 years old? Wow. So they're putting you under and just teaching you that mindset.
Yeah.
Whoa. Did he give you any advice on how to shut it off?
No. He was probably like, I don't have any time. He's probably like, I don't have any time.
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Now, being dangerous is not being a threat. They're two different things, all right? And it's not about going out and lifting weights and getting a bunch of tattoos and wearing leather jackets and walking around with your chest and shoulders up, hulking around saying, I'm dangerous. That's very rarely is that a dangerous man. Often the most dangerous man in the room is the quietest man in the room.
What's your morning routine like? Or do you have a morning routine that you like, or do you just kind of...
Fasted cardio is what I like to do, or fasted yoga. That's my most recent thing, is I'm doing either 14 to 16 hours, depending upon what my day looks like. So intermittent fasting. And then I usually either like yoga or running in the morning. Today was running, and then I'll do something in the afternoon, either martial arts related or weightlifting related.
Do you drink coffee every morning, like right when you wake up, or?
Not always, but I like it. I like these things, these nitros, these caveman nitros. But I like regular coffee too. But I drink water with Himalayan salt in it too. That's one of the first things. Yeah, I put a little lemon in there too.
Do that
sometimes.
every morning.
Sometimes I throw a little cayenne pepper in that motherfucker. Wow.
Any apple cider ever vinegar?
I do that stuff sometimes too. I take a lot of probiotics. I eat a lot of kimchi. I find like kimchi and game meat is like, I've been on this kick for the past 3 or 4 months where I just eat kimchi and elk like 3-4 times a week and stuff. Yeah.
Dude, it's hard when you eat some elk before bed and you wake up hard as a rock. Fuck people up, dude. You're like, what the fuck?
People don't know, man. They don't know. You're eating a super athlete. If you eat elk, you're literally eating a super athlete. You know?
How long's your training routine take you?
Generally 2 hours. A regular day for me is 2 hours. But it depends. One of the things I do is I use, when it comes to training, like with weights and kettlebells, I treat kettlebells like it's a skill. And I think that is something that I learned from Pavel Tsatsouline and studying his Strong First protocol.
Mm-hmm.
He advocates a long rest period in between workout sets and more repetitions in terms of volume by virtue of the fact that you have larger rest periods. And a lot of people feel like they're being lazy when they do that because they're not pushing themselves. But I push myself doing other things. Right. If you look at the general population and you get a bunch of weak bitches and you get them together, how many of them are going to keep it together? How many of them are going to run every day? How many of them are going to work out every day? Very, very, very few. You're dealing with outliers in particular just by virtue of what you do. How many people are willing to put the work in to achieve this? How many people are going to achieve this physique? Very, very few, right? Thank you. So we're talking about outliers. We're talking about that's what I like. I like outliers. I don't like people like, it's too hard. I can't hear that.
It's easy to give up. You know,
Hell
it's
yeah.
easy. It's the easiest thing in the world to do. All right, man, I'm done. I ain't going. I ain't going to keep going.
Yeah,
I don't feel like going to work. I'm done.
Yeah, man.
It's easy. It's very easy. But what's hard is going, yesterday I got nothing from working as hard as I could. Nothing happened from that. I'm going to do the same thing again today, but I'm going to try to go harder. That's the hardest thing in the world. To get up every day and give 100% and be in the same position that you were each day, but mentally know that you're trying and trying and trying. That's a real grind.
It's like a muscle. You know, everybody's got the muscle. If you use it, it grows. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? It doesn't ever disappear, though. It just looks like it's not there. But if you demand that you push it beyond what it's comfortable with, and that's what you're doing right now, you're pushing beyond your comfort. You were settling for comfort to try to survive. Now you're like, F that. I want more out of this life. You know, I'm not going to settle for that shit. But then you keep telling yourself the old story. So change your story, change your life. It sounds overly simplistic, but it is true.
So if you're at a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things. But you have to make a conscientious decision that you're going to change. And it's not dependent on anybody else. It don't matter what your mama think. It don't matter what your coworkers think. It don't matter what your siblings think. It don't matter what your children think. It don't matter. They have nothing to do with it.
You can't wait for everything to be perfect to start living your life.
I don't know why the man above gives me the hardest role, but it's nothing the man above. Don't put you in situations that you can't handle. And I just kept that same positive attitude, like, instead of saying, why me? They're saying, this is what he want me to do.
Never, ever give up. There'll be times in your life you'll want to quit. You'll want to go home. You'll want to go home perhaps to that wonderful mother that's sitting back there watching you and say, Mom, I can't do it. I can't do it. Just never quit. Go back home and tell Mom, Dad, I can do it. I can do it. I will do it. You're going to be successful.
But I finally realized that, and I want to share this with you, if you give up on your dreams, what do you have left? Nothing. I can't live that way. I have to live on the edge.
If you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, keep moving.
Everybody wants to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
That's why failure is so important. Like failing and fucking up and making mistakes. It's very important. That's how you learn. That's the bad feeling that you get from something that you shouldn't have done or wish you didn't do or wish you did better. Like especially failing at something where you half-assed it and you just feel like a fucking loser. Like that just teaches you.
When you had that third failure in a row, did you think, I need to pack this in? Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up.
To all of you out there, please keep your dreams alive. But what did you learn from that whole experience? Just having to go through what you went through.
God is great.
Is it that simple?
God is great. Don't get no simpler than that, bro.
Did you know that? I mean, I'm everybody knows that, but the way you know it now, did you know it before that incident took place?
You can know it all you want, but until you got to pick up that cross that you can't carry, and he picks it up for you and carries you and the cross, then you know.
You're going to be all right. You just stumbled over a stone in the road. Means nothing. Your goal lies far beyond this, doesn't it? I'm sure you'll overcome this. You'll walk again soon.
You want a sword, Thorfinn? A sword is a tool meant to kill. Why do you need it? Whose life do you intend to take?
Bad guys like Halfdan.
Listen to me, my son. You don't have enemies. The truth is that nobody has them. Nobody in this entire world deserves to get hurt.
In my heart, I believe that though I am a sinner, I have been saved. And I believe there is something beyond this rock, and this air, and this water around us. Something more that is waiting for us. I have been baptized twice, once in water, once in flame. I will carry the fire of the Holy Spirit inside until I stand before my Lord for judgment.
We all get exactly the same amount of time. Focus on right now, because that is all you've got. There isn't any past, there isn't any future. Now's it. Is it? When the sand's gone, it's gone. Don't waste your time. Do you know that everybody alive gets exactly the same amount of time? We get all there is. It's what we do with it that makes the difference. Don't waste your life. Set your goals high. Quit thinking about what's wrong. Start thinking what's right. Love a little more, hate a little less. You have no idea what you're capable of doing. Make up your mind today. You're going to figure it out.
People only fail because they get caught up into what winning was. You're supposed to fail at some point in time. You're supposed to get knocked down a couple times. You're supposed to lose. That's how you learn. Perfection is only a word because imperfection was discovered. You can't be perfect without knowing what imperfect is. You have to experience imperfection at some point to go, now I'm perfect. And that's what people don't realize.
Keep going. Like, keep doing what you're doing, and I'm doing what I'm doing. There's no comparison anymore, in a way, because what works for other people don't work for you, man. So we're all on our own timeline. There's a time for everyone, but we all got space in this world to fulfill and succeed. That's exactly what my dad told me. There's not one time you're not going to have a shot. We all got a shot, man. It's just whether you're willing to run after it.
What I'm saying is I'm always waiting for everything to be perfect before I live my life. I'm always waiting for everything to be perfect before I live my life.
The bottom line is no one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you. And because you're only ever going to do the things that you feel like doing right now or that feel good right now, unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you got to push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true. You're just not. We're not wired that way. You weren't born that way. You weren't that way when you were growing up, and you're certainly not that way as an adult.
No, and I promise you, every single person who wants to do something with their life and has done something with their life has gone through the exact chapter that you're going through. And it's the lonely chapter. It's the chapter where you don't fit in with your own friends, but you don't have the outcomes yet to fit into a new group of friends. And you're doing this thing, you're consuming content on the internet, you're doing these free tutorials online to try and figure out how to set up a podcast and where do I host this thing? And then and you're going through this and you're like, is this even worth it? Because you have no signs of success, right? But if there's anything that you can take away from what we're saying right now, is that the sign of success is the hate that you get along the way. And what you can't do is bend the knee to their hate and fit back into the conformity because it's comfortable and it's warm. Because like in the Matrix, when Trinity opens the door, when Neo's about to go take the red pill and he wants to get out of the car, she says, Neo, you've been down that road and you know exactly where it leads. And I know that's not where you want to be. And then he closes the door. Like right now, this moment that you're going through is Trinity opening the door and being like, you could go back. But then you'd have to remember exactly what the reason was that you decided not to go out to begin with, just because you listen to this podcast and you consume this content. You're like, I could fucking do more than this. Like, because you are starting to live in some of that, how where you look in the mirror and you're like, I can do more. And you start to see the person that you could be. And you're like, this does start to feel like hell.
To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts. If you look at all my teammates here tonight, it would be impossible to find better examples of men who embody that work ethic, integrity, purpose, determination, and discipline that it takes to be a champion in life.
The wealthy upbringing, we come from a very poor upbringing. When we moved to England, we were in a homeless shelter for the first year as we were trying to find council housing, and we growing a single mother council estate.
Yeah.
I've got every excuse everyone else has got to be a criminal asshole, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So, you know, and people go, oh, you're lucky you could kickbox. I said, getting up and running to this gym because my mom didn't have a car and couldn't afford the bus, running 4 miles, training, then running 4 miles home is not luck. You could have done that and didn't want it. So, you know, people may meet barriers, but if you genuinely apply yourself.
One thing about martial arts, people can say people can say this fight game is dangerous and it's brutal, but my mind is strong. I'm fit in body and mind, and that's something that not a lot of other careers can give to a person. So
it's really important to learn. I think every young man should learn how to fight. I think there would be way less fights because of it. And I don't think you have to be a mean person to learn martial arts. I think it's a skill, and I think you learn it. And then once you start getting good at it, it starts actually becoming fun. And the people who you practice it with, you become close with.
Yeah.
You don't hate the people that you're practicing fighting with. They become some of your closest friends.
Yeah.
And I think it's it's a giant confidence boost to know that you can do something difficult and get better at it. I think just that alone, it has massive benefits for people.
Exactly. So I get kicked out, and then I start training like ninth grade. I started training, and then dude, like, I realized I wasn't a racist. I was just angry, you know? So like when I train, it gives me tools to process it. But like, if it wasn't fighting, bro, I'd be in jail. Like, it's not like, I mean, I'll never forget. I always tell people the first day I trained, I got the shit kicked out of me, covered in blood, bro. Like, first moment in my life I ever felt happiness. First moment in my fucking life I ever felt happy. That shit kicked out of me. Just all the anger, the gosh. You recognize that anytime I was in the gym, I was happy. You know, whatever's going on in my life, good or bad, I go to the gym. I exercise. Exercise is the best form of medication. I always felt happy after a workout or after training. And she obviously saw that. So when I was stopped training, I was hanging around with the wrong people or whatever, you know, I wasn't as happy as I would be. So she wasn't, in her head, she obviously wasn't thinking of sending them into an MMA fight. She just wanted me back in the gym and back training and back doing what I loved.
Imagine you have no martial arts training. None. Take everything you've learned, throw it away.
Okay.
Take away all your physical training.
Okay.
You walk into a room full of people. How do you feel psychologically?
A little insecure.
Insecure.
Yeah.
Insecure.
Yeah.
That's how regular people feel.
Yeah.
Most people, I should say, most. They never train in their life. They're unskilled to deal with a situation that might occur. Could occur at any moment.
Yeah. Well, I think that would stop a lot of bullying. And I've said this before, but I think it's counterintuitive to people. They think that bullying is a mean person, and if you taught them how to fight, they become meaner. But I don't think that's the case. I think bullies are insecure.
Yes.
Yeah. I think if you took away that and they got to really establish through training that they have character and that they're worth something and they don't have to be insecure and they build up this confidence, you wouldn't see them going out and picking on people.
I never thought I'd struggle with it, but I mean, like, for some reason, when I wasn't fighting or in camp, I just do my head in. You know what I mean? I needed a fight, and then this opportunity come up, and you know, I'm telling myself it's meant to be. Obviously, I was struggling a little bit, not fighting, doing my head in. I don't know how. Everything's fine. I've got a beautiful family, but I don't know. You know, I think you just need to keep busy.
There are many, many parents of young kids who are seeing my path and encouraging their kids into the game of martial arts. And whether the kid, you put your child into martial arts or whatever, it allows them to go and conquer whatever they want to. Whether they want to conquer the fight game, they can. Whether they want to go and conquer the business game or whatever route they decide to take, training for martial arts will help them. So I am happy that
I have put martial arts in the spotlight in my country and shown it for what it is, true dedication and a beautiful discipline.
Don't be scared to get to the money at all times. I went to sleep 3 a.m. I was back up at 6:30, excited. No excuses. My bad. Shut the fuck up and let's get to the money.
You're that much closer to becoming that person you always knew you could be. I mean, isn't it about time you do that? Isn't it about time you become that person you knew you always could be? How do you do that? You break the fucking mold, guys. You get the fuck out of bed when it's cold, when it's early. You do something away from the normality of what you've been doing. That's psychotic behavior. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result doesn't work that way. You must switch up the mainframe. Switch it up if you want a different result, man. Why not try it, man? Shock the system. Start with an earthquake, man. What I mean by that is, get up at 4 in the fucking morning one day. Just one day. And go for a fucking run. Commit to one day. And see how you feel. As you're jogging it back in around 5 or something. As your neighbors are still asleep. Or as you're jogging it back in at 6 o'clock. And your neighbor's just getting up, grabbing the coffee, looking outside, wondering, what the day's going to hold for them. Well, your day's already provided something for you. You see how that works? Mentally, you feel like, wow, man, that was fucking alive. And then you go about your day at work and your coworkers like, who the fuck? What happened to old Greg, man? This is who's this? That's right. The new motherfucker's here to stay. And get the fucking on my plan or get the fuck out of my way. That's how you run it, man. But you won't get to know what I'm talking about, man. You can't look at a picture of something of Hawaii and feel the cool breeze and the warm water. You gotta be there, man. You can't talk it all the time. You got to walk it. Commit to one day. Try it. See how it feels. Getting up that fucking early when everyone else is asleep or it's that cold. When everybody else says, no, it's not comfortable. We shouldn't do this. You say, yes, motherfucker, I'm going to introduce myself to it. And who that person is, we don't know. Who could it be? It's exciting, man. Because the way you feel after that, as exhausted or as how unpleasant as the experience might be, the after effect on how prideful you feel, man. That's something you're either going to love or not. And if you love it, dude, you're on your journey to something magical.
We were very, very poor. Me, my mother, and my brother, when we moved to England, we grew up in a homeless hostel. So I grew up at the very end of the socioeconomic ladder. I had a worse start than 99% of people. But I lived my life when I was poor, furious at the fact I was poor. Because my ego, and I'll be honest, my ego is at a point where I didn't understand how other people can afford Ferraris and I can't. I would be 18, walk into college, and a Ferrari would drive past. And it would ruin my week. And everyone would be like, what's wrong with you? I'd be like, don't you see? This fat fuck can buy a Ferrari and I can't. Why? He's not a better man. He's not a better person than me. I'm just as good as him, if not better. I couldn't stand the fact that there are people who could do things I couldn't. So this gave me unlimited motivation to get rich. Now I found a way to get rich, and I believe that anyone who really, really, truly wants to get rich will get rich one way or another.
1 a.m., I'm going for my third workout. Do I want to go to the gym? Absolutely not. I'd rather, lay in my house and sit in the movie theater and watch movies. But, to be the best, you got to work overtime. To be the best, you got to work overtime.
The fear is never reaching your potential.
That's it.
That always falling short, always quitting before you're done, always procrastinating, always not doing the right thing. And then one day you're an old man.
Yep.
And you look back and go, God, I could have been great.
Yep.
It could have been great.
I never forget one time I was running by a graveyard. I was fucking just trying to become, I was fat. And I ran by a graveyard and I looked out there and I have all these epiphanies, man. I have all these fucking moments of it's crazy, man, of this thought. Cause I'm always by myself. I'm always deep fucking thought about how to be better. And I look out there, I'm like, man, I wonder how many of you motherfuckers in there fucking just are so upset with how you lived your life and fucking just regret how you lived it. And I'm running a 300-pound man thinking, man, don't fucking die like this, bro. Don't die like this. So people wonder where this shit comes from me. It comes from such deep thought of trying to see what this is all about. What is this life all about? What am I all about? Why am I here? I had to find purpose.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
If I pull that off, will you die?
It would be extremely painful.
You're a big guy.
For you.
Larry, what do you
think the meaning of life is?
Work. It's important to be useful. Look at me. I got it all figured out. I get up, I shower, I come to work, I work all day, I go home, I go to sleep. I get up, I shower, I come to work, I work all day, I go home, I go to sleep. I get up, I shower, I come to work.
Then why didn't you quit? You knew I was trying to get rid of you, yet you stayed.
Yeah, I stayed. I stayed because every time you threw a brick at my head or said I smelled, it hurt, but it could never hurt more than it did every day of my life just being me. I stayed because I thought if anyone could change me, could make me not me, it was you, the greatest kung fu teacher in all of China.
But I can change you. I can turn you into the Dragon Warrior, and I will.
I mean, you can't. It's look, it's a gift and a curse. You can't want the bells and whistles and not understand the sacrifices that come with it. The work that goes into building things. Sometimes you got to be hands-on until you don't have to be. And the grind that goes with that is one that's necessary.
And you need to sit there and realize, whoa. I have a few years of consciousness, and even less than that, I have a few short years as a young man, because age will damage you. I mean, if you're a millionaire when you're 60, it's not nearly as good as being a millionaire at my age. I became a millionaire at 28. So you need to realize you got a few short years as a young man, you're wasting them.
So how you gonna knock somebody in the world for actually trying to do something? Trying. Since when has it become not cool to try? Loser.
I'm not used to this, man. Why is there so much people? You're not used to what? You're not used to, you know why people are with you right now? Because there's a natural vibe, man.
Yeah.
And what you talking about, you're not used to it.
Yeah.
By the way, get used to it. It's called progression. It's called an elevator that's going up.
Bro, it's going to be trials and tribulations where it's going to test you to stop right here. And what's going to separate you from everybody else is will you keep going or will you just stop?
Once I quit, I literally worked every single fucking day for a year and a half straight. And even when I missed a day after that, a year and a half straight, I felt like I fucking let myself down. And this, man, God is my witness. When I quit my 9-to-5 job, I only worked there for 28 days. I knew it wasn't for me. I quit my 9-to-5, and from the moment I stepped foot out there, when I walked out, I went a year and a half straight of working towards where I am now. And then when I missed a day, I felt sick. Like, damn, nigga, you ain't doing enough. Nigga, how do you manage to miss the day when you know what the fuck you working towards?
You can do whatever you want. The world is yours. And I'm telling the young cats of our generation, don't discriminate against anybody because we're all one generation. And that's some important shit, yo. I mean, who would have thought a ghetto kid with gold teeth and French braids from the hood would be in Vogue and GQ on the same month, at the same time, about the same. And that's when you got to figure out what's right for you. You know what I mean? And, just because that's my thing, even if it is your thing, figure it out. Do what you got to do. I did what I did and I made it in a positive way. And I feel like anybody could do it straight up.
Don't give up. Because a year ago, I was going to quit this shit. Like, it was going to be like a hobby instead of a passion, Because, I feel like after a certain point in an artist, whether they want to admit it or not, if they're not seeing results, they're going to start doubting themselves. But I'm glad I kept going because, look, now, like, shit's paying off. So I think the main advice I give myself is just to not give up and keep striving.
This is hard work. Chat, I can say about chat. I'm tired, bro. I'm going to keep saying it over and over. I'm tired, bro. I don't care. Never get tired, bro. Never get tired, chat. Never, ever. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. Y'all seen it happen here first. Word to my mother, you seen it happen here. Day first.
You talk to people and they're content. They're like, oh, I'm happy with what I've got. I'm like, why? Because there's people who have a whole bunch more than you. And I was never content having a normal life. I wanted an exceptional life. I didn't want a normal car, a normal house, a normal girlfriend. I didn't want none of that. I was like, no. There's dudes out here that have the best. Why do they deserve the best and I don't deserve the best? I really believe that. And this is something I've always had inside me. I just didn't understand why I couldn't have the best stuff.
It to you, but what people call love is just a chemical reaction that compels animals to breed. It hits hard, Morty, then it slowly fades, leaving you stranded in a failing marriage. I did it. Your parents are going to do it. Break the cycle, Morty. Rise above. Focus on science.
The key in life is to lie to yourself about reality. Smile through everything. All the bad things, well, you just pile them away in a place that will come back one day in the form of, I don't know, rage? But everything's fine. I'll see you in bed.
Listen, man, you may have given up on yourself, but your friends haven't given up on you. Are you just going to turn your back on them and sit and eat borscht the rest of your life? Or are you going to get out there and jump through that tiny little hoop?
It is impossible.
It was always impossible, Vitaly. That's why the people loved it.
That is why I loved it, because I did the impossible. I was once a brave tiger, and if I go down in flames, so be it.
If you are facing a challenge, don't stop. Stay busy. Work your plan. Continue to do those things that you know that work for you after you have evaluated yourself in the situation. Continue to move. Stay busy, stay busy, stay busy. You've got to activate the thinker in you. Don't allow your emotions to control you. We are emotional, but you want to begin to discipline your emotion. If you don't discipline and contain your emotions, they will use you.
The first step before anybody else in the world believes it is you have to believe it. There's no reason to have a plan B because it distracts from plan A.
Focus on you and only on you to become the best person you could be for others. Because there was no outsiders. It was isolation. It was visualization. It was motivation, and it was dedication. There was nothing else going on in my life.
And if you wanted to design the perfect version of you, the savage competitor, the gladiator at the end of the life that has the scars and the scraggly beard, but has been through shit and has done things and has realized their potential, what would you do to maximize the likelihood that you become that savage hero? Would you give them the padded lifestyle? Would you give them the immediate win? Would you give them the easy life? Probably not. You would probably put you through what you're going through right now to become that person. And so why would you resent the chapter you're in? Because it's a requirement for becoming who you say you want to be.
You don't gain confidence by going to the spot that makes you feel good. It's to be a false reality. And the second life gives you that challenge, all you want to do is go back to what made you confidence or what gave you confidence. Is that happy spot? No. What gives you confidence, what gave me confidence, was spending years at a kitchen table trying to learn how to read and write on my own, realizing I can't learn the way you learn. I can't, but I can learn. What gives you confidence, not being afraid, is overcoming the fear, is facing these things, overcoming them. And maybe not overcoming them every day, but facing them and facing them and facing them. Pretty soon like this, you know what, man, this is where it's at. It's not in that comfort zone. It's in the discomfort zone is where my confidence is getting built. That's where it's getting built.
Each level comes with higher levels of family members telling you can't do it. People telling you that you're not qualified. People warning you that it's too risky. And what if you lose it all for your family and you guys end up destitute? See, external resistance isn't just in business. External resistance comes from friends and families who have the best of intentions for you. They mean well, but they're telling you that they doubt you. In not so many words, they're telling you that they doubt you. They're telling you that I don't think you have what it takes. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to work harder to get to that next level.
You get in life what you are, not what you want. You see, the good news is that we can always become more by working to develop ourselves. So the first process of making this your decade, you've got to begin to take a look at your life and look at where are you right now? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What gives your life a sense of fulfillment, a sense of joy? What does a full, rich life means to you? What is it that you could love doing 7 days a week?
You have to do it yourself. No one's going to give it to you. No one is going to give it to you. And this doesn't mean you have to take from someone else. You have to build for yourself. So think through what you are saying. Think through what you are thinking. Stop blaming other people. Start taking ownership and start taking ownership of everything. And I'll tell you what, it hurts. It hurts. Like chemotherapy hurts. It's terrible when people go through that, but that's what removes the cancer from their system. It's a lonely, scary
dangerous pursuit, and you got to be willing to risk everything to become that seed of what you believe is in there. You got to be fearless. You got to be relentless. Everybody has dreams, and as much as you want to be able to listen a little bit, because somebody's going to give you a gem, but nobody knows but you. You can't get advice on what you should do with your life, right? Nobody knows what you are. Like even sometimes you don't really even know what you are. You got to take your shot. And it's like, as much as you want people to agree and you want the people around you to be supporting your dreams and all, it's not going to be like that all the time. You got to do it alone. And people will help you. And when you get the ball rolling, people will jump on. But if you don't believe, nobody else is going to believe. People come along because your belief is so insane, that your belief is so strong that makes people be like, yo, this crazy. Like, son, I don't care what it is, but you don't understand this is dangerous, because this is where people mess up. They get comfortable, they settle, and they think, yo, I made it. And like you said, that's the worst place in the world. So I told my son, like, yo, just imagine in 3 months, you're going to wake up and every dream you've had since you were 6 or 7 years old is all like, who graduates with the dream job? You know, who lives in New York? He's in Manhattan. He's going to be in Manhattan, Times Square. You know, so I said, son, this is a dangerous place. So I say to those individuals, yeah, you're right. You don't want to hit rock bottom, but you have to create your own mental rock bottom so that you don't hit rock bottom.
If you don't take that last 5%, it's a knock on somebody else's door, I guarantee you. There's only a certain window of opportunity for success. This is your opportunity of a lifetime. Take the 5%. Go the 5% distance. It's going to be scary as all head. It will drive you to the ground. You'll fail a few times. You'll fall on your face. Get up. Keep getting up. Keep getting up. If you don't, you have to be happy for the rest of your life. If you don't take the last 5%, you have to be happy the rest of your life knowing they went to somebody else's door and knocked on their door, and you could have been that guy.
Because if you look out in the world right now today, it's not a nice place. I'm very prepared for it. I'm prepared for it. I'm prepared for all the failure coming my way. I'm prepared for everything my way. And that's the biggest lesson that she taught me by not teaching me. By never saying it's going to be okay. Yeah. Matter of fact, she told me the exact opposite. Life sucks.
Some of you are meant for the journey, not for the arrival. But you're not enjoying the journey because you're trying to find a destination that does not exist for you. Embrace the journey and shun the box. Be one of those men who finds things, who figures things out, who sees things that others are not able to see.
Most people don't work on their dreams. Why? For many years, I didn't. One is because of fear. The fear of failure. What if things don't work out? And the fear of success. What if they do and I can't handle it? The other thing is that most people, ladies and gentlemen, they get comfortable. They stop growing. They stop working on themselves. They stop stretching. They stop pushing themselves. And they end up becoming very cynical about life. And they throw in the towel on themselves, on their families, and on their dreams.
You can't react to every little change and every little adjustment that's taking place. I can't redirect my efforts and my focus only to have to redirect my efforts and my focus to another course a very short time after. It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. So you have to wait. You have to give things enough time to develop that the actual direction becomes very clear. And look, it doesn't mean gaff them off. It's not like if my boss says, hey, I want you to look at this. I'll be like, yeah, okay, boss. Doesn't mean I start investing a bunch of time. Hey, got it, boss. Here, we'll take a look at it. Maybe I spend 3 minutes. I'm familiar with it. Cool. But I'm not pulling out the research. No, I'm not doing that.
Reminder that if you want to be exceptional, you're going to be different from everyone else. That's what makes you exceptional. You can't fit in and also be exceptional. Both have discomfort. When you fit in, you have internal conflict because you're not being 100% you. When you're exceptional, you have external conflict because everyone sees you as different.
There's no easy way around it. No matter how talented you are, your talent is going to fail you if you're not skilled. You know, if you don't study, if you don't work really hard and dedicate yourself to being better every single day, you'll never be able to communicate with people, with your artistry, the way that you want. So
reaching your ultimate dreams and goals, like the stuff that you know
You know, because there are kids out here who are doing better than their sister or their brother. And they're like, well, I'm doing better than you, but we know you haven't tapped into your true potential. So greatness to me is one, knowing what greatness should look like for you, having your own personal definition of greatness and getting up every single day and going after it.
You can either live your dreams or live your fears. And I think the majority of people actually are not living their dreams, but are living their fears. So I want to ask you a question. What are your fears? What are you afraid of? What are you scared of? Because we all have fears, don't we? We all have something that's blocking us, that's holding us back. And as we begin to look at life, what we realize is that the reason that most people are not living out their true potential and not doing all of the things that they would really like to do is because of fear.
Life is hard. It's always been hard from the beginning, and it will always be hard. It brings men more down. But life is hard, and that's the way it's always been. It's our lot. Now, if you don't want to accept that, that's up to you, okay? But it's our lot. It's our place. Life's hard. And sometimes we don't need men's mental awareness. Men's mental health awareness month, is that what they call it? We need men's grow a set month. We need men stop whining month. Now, I know things are hard for some of you. I know things are extremely difficult for somebody. Things have been hard for me around here. I don't get on here and post it. I'm not going to now. But we all go through it. And that's the reason I'm talking to you tonight. Sometimes you look at people on the screen and you think that's distant and they're separated and they're not going through what you're going through. Listen, man, we all go through it. We all go through it. I've had folks get on here and comment, Dwayne, you don't look good, man. You look tired. You look sad. You look this, you look that. Look, I go through life just like you do. Okay. I have battles just like you do. I stand between my family and the world just like you do.
The only thing I could control with that is that I would work, is that I would get better. And the key point there was that it wasn't just working for work's sake, it was working with the intention to improve. And so you want to do repetitions because by doing things more times, you get better at them, typically just by accident. But if you're deliberate about the point of doing this, so when I started working at a gym, going from a white collar job, it wasn't because I wanted to become a trainer for the rest of my life. It was because I wanted to learn the skills.
If you want to know what the best accelerator, the best pre-workout is for life, for your workouts, for everything, it's fear. Dude, no one has ever talked about this, but I'm going to share it with you now. Everyone is posting shit about, you should overcome fear. You shouldn't be afraid of fear. You should, fear is bad. I think fear is the healthiest thing there is right now, because if you didn't have fear, you wouldn't have motivation.
If you fall down and drop the weight on the floor, who cares? Who cares? But if you make it, I care. I want that. I want you to fail, and I want you to get up and do it again. The same thing in life is the same thing here. If you can do this, you can do anything. Anything. Right now, you're 5% away. 5% away from being a champion.
How do you channel the villain to unleash the hero? How do you use darkness to create greatness?
I think one of the largest tenets of masculinity for the largest period of human time is ignoring how you feel and doing what you're supposed to do because you're supposed to do it. We feel things, but jobs must be done, whether we are happy or sad. And this is also disappearing from the world.
Every time you watch or you consume a piece of content, you read a book, if you think, what behavior am I going to change as a result of this? If the answer is nothing, you wasted your time.
One of the things that we know about life is that it is always changing. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. Sometimes things go real well, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes you're happy, and sometimes you're sad. Now that's that thing called life. And when we begin to understand and know that, accepting that reality that we will never, ever have things just on an even keel all the time, that you're going to have some ups and you're going to have some downs. But during those down moments, that's where the growth takes place. That's where the work is. See, anybody can feel good when they have their health, their bills are paid, they have happy relationships. Anybody can be positive then. Anybody can have a larger vision then. Anybody can have faith under those kinds of circumstances. See, but the real challenge of growth, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, comes when you get knocked down.
Every person who's listening to this right now has listened to 1,000 fucking podcasts, and they're in the exact same condition, and yet they have not changed their behavior, which means 1, they have not learned, and 2, they are dumb.
When you start to build yourself up and start to have the one thing that we don't have is confidence.
Yeah.
Real, authentic confidence from hard work. Everything else goes away. You no longer look to other people for your self-esteem.
Validation.
That's right.
Sure, yeah.
You now know. I walk in a room now and I know the hours and years and decades I put into David Goggins. That's something, it's not on the wall. It's not a trophy on the wall. It's not a medal on your neck. It is actually a feeling in your heart. And people go, why don't you ever smile? I don't have to.
To alleviate fear, you do not alleviate what causes fear. You help alleviate the reaction to what causes fear. Because I can't go out there and remove every single plastic bag on this planet. I can't remove every dog in the yard of the house that you're driving by. I can't go out there and tell the log trucks, everybody stop and park your trucks, because I'm riding horses today. Okay? Your job is not to take away what causes fear. Your job is to take away the fear. There's a big difference.
Successful people see opportunity in every failure. Normal people see failure in every opportunity. Both are right. Only one gets rich.
Those daily disciplines are going to give you the long-term strategic success. I want you to think about that every day. Long-term strategic success. That's how we think. We think long-term strategic success, and then we act tactically. What does that mean? We do the thing right now. We just do it. We're not thinking about it. We're just doing it.
If you come in great, if you come in poorly, it does not matter. You have to do life. And if you're smart, you do life on your terms and you don't let life make you do it on its terms.
Congratulations. You achieved failure. Failure has been achieved.
Thank God. Now, the only place to go from failure is to win. You have to achieve failure. You have to take it that far. Nobody wants to go that far. It's too scary. But you know something? I got news for you. That's where winning is. It always has been. Nothing's changed since the 70s. Nothing. Except people train not as hard.
It's not, I've never, doubt is such a strange thing. I mean, it's, there'll be times where you succeed and there are times that you fail. So wasting your time doubting whether you're going to be successful or not is pointless.
So you need to kind of check your balance so that you don't get out of balance. So then if that thing that you have committed some resources to, if it doesn't work out the way you want, you're still okay. You don't get swept and get caught in a bad position. Make sure that you have a plan and do a risk assessment to make sure that if the commitment that you made doesn't work out, you don't fall and get crushed. And if you can do that, it'll make life easier.
You have to understand whether good economy or bad economy, it's difficult to be successful. It is difficult to be financially successful. And think about all great things in life. Aren't all the best things in life difficult to achieve? I can tell you this, that abs are difficult to achieve. Easy to maintain, difficult to achieve, because it takes zero motivation, zero self-inspiration, zero discipline to sit on the couch and keep eating bonbons. However, it takes absolute motivation, dedication, discipline, consistency, focus, pushing through adversity to get up, to stop making excuses, to go to the gym, to train every day, and to eat clean, and to eat in a way that burns fat, maintains muscle, to get those abs.
That's what I wanted it to be. And you know what? It became what I wanted it to be. It became what I expected to have happen. When you believe something and you put the energy out to the world, the universe, you get it back. I really believe this. I don't know. I can't, you know, I'm nobody special. I'm not somebody that's, you know, any different. Most of you have more talent than I do. Okay. I'm not any special person, but I believe that if you gave this energy to the universe, it would come back to you. And I didn't have a plan B.
God placed the best things in life on the other side of terror. On the other side of your maximum fear are all of the best things in life. You do what you need to do.
People aren't very often afraid of fighting. They're afraid of losing.
Spend time with your family?
Sure, I do.
Good. Because a man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man.
But I can't go out on the track and do the same old thing. It won't work.
Then change it up. Try something new.
I don't know, Sally.
Don't fear failure. Be afraid of not having the chance. You have the chance. Doc didn't. And you can either take it or you can do what you've been doing, sitting in here for months.
You know, they say we die twice. Once when the breath leaves our body, and once when the last person we know says our name. Hirsch's life will be forgotten. Like all the other poor fucks that ever had the glory to live it.
Just relax and enjoy it. You know, my father used to say, whatever you do it 100%. When you work, work. When you laugh, laugh. When you eat like it's your last meal. You want another piece? Here, have a breast. Delicious. Take it. Hey.
Yeah. I don't care how good you are in anything. You don't have discipline. You ain't nobody.
Right.
You're nothing without discipline because you give up under the slightest struggle without discipline.
100%.
I mean, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it.
A true martial artist is a peaceful man.
Right.
True martial artist is peaceful. But don't fucking push me. Yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Don't fucking push me. And you want to become world champion. It doesn't matter who's your opponent. Bring King Kong. If he can make 155, I'm going to fight with him.
I'm not scared of these guys. These guys think they intimidate me, and they think that I think that they're scared. Oh, well, if they're scared, that's all I know. I'm bringing the pain to them. And that's all it is. Then we go see how tough you are. Tough guy. I like tough guys. All the time in prison, I always ran these guys, they were tough. When they were in, they ain't tough. When they get confronted, they ain't tough. When I bring that pain to them, they ain't tough. They think they know they've been around crazy. Oh, no. They don't know one. They don't know crazy. No, they really don't.
As advertised, we knew it was going to be a war. Was there anything about that fight that was surprising to you?
No, I knew exactly what there was. He is a warrior. We were living in the wrong times, let me tell you. Me and him should have been fighting to death in a Coliseum. That's what should have happened.
You have to see training for what it is. Training is about skill development, not about winning or losing. You've got to understand that you don't need to win every battle. You only need to win the battles that count. And the battles that count are in the World Championship finals. Okay. That's the one that counts.